distinct honor to welcome our special address. He's been a prominent voice in the Indian journalism. With a career spanning over 3 decades, he had led top newsrooms, brought critical issues to light, and earned honors like the Statesman Award for Rural Reporting. Now, as an entrepreneur, he continues to bring a fresh perspective to the media industry. Let's welcome none other than Shri Pankaj Pachauri.
Thank you. Since we are in the business of communication, first things first, a reel. Thank you, Udit, for inviting me. Thank you, the team of Media Mantra. And congratulations to all of you to have completed 365 days, which is a long time in the history of a new startup. And all the best for 2025 as you grow and achieve new successes. Now, my job is, I've not been told how long I'm going to talk, so bear with me. It's very difficult to speak first and set the ball rolling, because otherwise you get ideas from what other people are saying and what they have to say, and you start your own thought process from what people have said, and cover things which other people have not said. 5 things I've been asked to speak on, which my journey from journalism to entrepreneurship. So I'll just stick to that, and after that, I'd love to have questions, because as a journalist and as an interviewer and as a television broadcaster, I love other people's questions more than mine, which is not the norm on TV these days. So number 1, just keep doing what you love. Just keep at it. I was watching YouTube. I'm the new fan of YouTube. I was watching an interview done by Larry King. A lot of people in this room would not know who Larry King is. Larry King was a CNN broadcaster who did some of the best interviews in the business for a very long time, died last year. And a lot of people like us who were getting into interviewing business in television learned a lot from him. So he was interviewing Mike Wallace, who was his senior. Larry King at that time was 73 years old. Mike Wallace at that time was 75 years old. And this is about beginning of this century. So Larry King asked Mike Wallace, who, by the way, was a presenter on 60 Minutes on CBS. It's the longest running program in the history of television. 58 years. I mean, television was invented and these people started doing that. So Larry King asked him, but tell me, Mike, what keeps you going? So he said, this is all I know, and I love it. That's why these people, these 2 old gentlemen, they survived such a long innings in communication. They had interviewed presidents, they had interviewed Hollywood celebrities, they were interviewed by Hollywood celebrities. They are the kind of people they used to call for a special appearance on Oscars night. And they were in the Hall of Fame of television. Great people. But what made them tick? That they loved doing what they were doing. And they kept at it. I remember once a young weather reporter, when we launched NDTV, she asked in a meeting, we used to have this uh, town hall. So she asked that I've been doing 2 years, when can I start doing news? And founder Prannoy Roy said, deadpan face. After 30 years? So she couldn't understand it. She thought he was joking. And he said, no, you keep doing, if you are good at something for 30 years, and then you will get what you really deserve. So he said, if you want to be the best weather presenter in India ever, just keep doing it. And you see, you love it. And you said that you are good at it. Longevity. When you get into a startup, just think about that you love doing what you are doing, and you'll go to any length of time doing it. Just keep doing it. That's the main thing. I came into journalism in 1984. So as I entered the hall, the average age went up by 20 years or something. And I wanted to change the world. That's how we got into journalism at that time. During my first interview in Patriot newspaper, the editor asked me, so why are you here? Why are you doing this? I said, no, we want to change the world. So he said, okay. And he gave me, in the middle of June, he gave me a terrible story to do as my first assignment, which was to work on the leather industry in Agra, because I used to study in Agra. And that by July, I had done my first story within a month on child labor in Agra leather industry, because you wanted to change the world. So that's how my journey started. Now, how to do branding within media? From Patriot, within a year, we covered the 1984 riots, by the way, and did pretty well. The paper came into prominence because of that, and we did a wonderful job in very tragic and sad circumstances. So within a year and a half, I said, I'm not happy. Now you've done everything like that weather reporter in NDTV. After 1.5 years, every young person gets, they say that they know the best and they can move on. So, well, I didn't have to wait much. Sunday Observer was launching its Delhi edition with the late Vinod Mehta. And I got a call that, why don't you come and work for us? I said, fantastic. I said, what are you giving me? So they say, you are a reporter. I say, I'm a reporter. We will give you a correspondence designation. So I thought it's a step up. From reporter, you become a correspondent. If I were at Patriot, it would take me like 5-6 years to become a correspondent and then get to the bureau. Not many people know how newspapers function from inside. So they're reporters, and then they are correspondents, the bureau, and then you have your special skills. So it's fine. And then I thought, and it struck to me that I'd heard somewhere that it's better to be, you have to change your branding. And how do you change your branding? So in a big pond, you'll always be a small fish. So I thought, I'll go to a small pond and become a big fish. So that's why Patriot, which was a big pond, 350 people, I went to Patriot, and the Patriot bureau was like 8 people. So small pond, big fish. So I was on page 1 all the time. Every Sunday morning, I had page 1. It's a new paper brought out by very charismatic Vinod Mehta, and I was getting noticed. So, there was a time of, there were riots in Meerut, 1997. And I used to go every day on my mobike in the morning to Meerut, cover the riots, and come back and file the stories. Every day. And sometimes when it became a bit late, I used to sleep in the printing press of Amar Ujala, which was a newspaper which had just started there, because they had air conditioning in the printing room. So everything is like, well, this thing. So it happened, and we covered riots so much. People like Raghu Rai, people like, now they are small names, I mean big names, Prabhu Chawla. They were covering the riots for Inderjit Badhwar. They were covering the riots for India Today. And in the meeting, as I was told, Mr. Arun Puri said that, who's this guy? And Prabhu Chawla said, I know him, I know his brother, so I'll find his number. So I got an offer from India Today. I'm just telling you, to the young people, this is how life goes. It's not easy. Because many of you have not even seen me on TV, which I left about 10 years ago. So I got this call, and I started thinking seriously, why should I join? I came to change the world. And this is a commercial magazine. There were ads, and India Today was like top of the pops those days, 87 and 88. And so I thought about it a lot. And I went to my brother, who teaches at Delhi University, used to teach there. And I said, this is my dilemma now, that I came to media to change the world, and now this very plush magazine is offering me a job. So he told me again that you have to experiment with that again. Big pond, small fish. The small pond, big fish. So I jumped again into a big pond called India Today and started working. And did a very good job. I got my first award, which I have totally forgotten, was 1989. And that was again on female infanticide in Rajasthan. It was a rural reporting award, which I got. And I still treasure that. It was nothing. It's just a coffee mug, which is still in my home. So did that. Then again, whole branding thing again, you go forward. I said, I've done enough of it. I went to Arun Puri's room after 3 years, again, young blood. I said, I want to become a foreign correspondent. So he said, there are 18 people in the office who are senior than you, and they are in the line. And then he asked me, but where do you want to go? I said, London. I was like 25 years old those days. And I had been chosen by the United States government to be, those days listicles were not there. So 25 under 25. I was chosen all across the world from India by the United States State Department to be invited in America to witness the American elections. 1988. George Bush Sr. and Dukakis election. So you are doing naturally well. So that's why I went to him and I told him that now I'm foreign correspondent and I have to go see the world. So he laughed at me and he sent me back. Dhirubhai Ambani was launching his paper at that time. And there was possibility. I didn't go. I didn't apply for anything. And my former editor from Patriot, R.K. Mishra, was doing this whole thing for Dhirubhai Ambani. It was called the Observer of Business and Politics, the paper. So I went to him. He called me, do you want to work? I said, yeah. So he said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to go to London as a foreign correspondent. And they had already found someone there. So they said, London is closed. What else? I said, US, Washington, D.C. He said, that is also closed. We are sending some. They are sending their foreign editor for that post. And I was like 26. So then I said, okay, I'll go to Hong Kong. And lo and behold, I went to Hong Kong. Without knowing that in Hong Kong, the rent for parking your car is more than your flat. So I went there to Hong Kong, and I was living in YMCA. I thought I'll find a nice place and this and that, and then I realized that the large sum of $2,000 US could buy nothing in Hong Kong. So I came back, and I was negotiating with him. There are lots of details. I'll talk about them in my book, who R.K. Mishra was sitting with, our former president, Pranab Mukherjee. And I had to catch a flight back, so I kept knocking at his door. He said, no, he's here. I mean, he was the vice chairperson of Planning Commission, and they are discussing budget. So I said, no, but I've got a flight to catch. So finally he said, I told him that this money is not working, and blah, 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 and said my piece. So he said, okay, you go there, then we'll realize, we'll figure out. So I went there, but I had made up my mind that I'm not going there. Meanwhile, Rajiv Gandhi was killed, 1991. And I was in Delhi. I didn't have nothing to do. I'm a foreign correspondent without a portfolio. And I had nothing to do. So I was just bumming around here and there. And I went to Rajiv Gandhi's house, this, that. You have no mandate, no nothing. And Prannoy Roy's wife, who I had worked with in India Today, Radhika Roy, she said, what the hell are you doing? You come, you work for us. So I landed up 1991 election doing the Lucknow beat for Doordarshan, which Prannoy Roy used to host. The election coverage of India, there was only one election coverage. And I did 20 interviews in 48 hours. Everyone who was in the city, every big name, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Mulayam Singh Yadav, Andy Tiwari, I didn't leave anyone. 24 hours, 20 interviews. I was on TV on Doordarshan every hour doing this thing. And since I was doing this, someone sitting in BBC office in Delhi was watching that. But who's this guy? So I came back from Lucknow, and someone said, what are you doing? I said, I'm in Hong Kong. So he said, forget Hong Kong, you come to the mother country. And I landed at the BBC job. So this is what you love. And you keep doing what you love most, and that's what will get you forward in this business. And I made some notes also, because no one is telling me about the time. Number 2, keep to your core values. Keep to your core values. When I left NDTV, and I was, again, I didn't want to become the Prime Minister's advisor. I got a call one day that I'm so-and-so calling from the Prime Minister's office, and Mr. Pulok Chatterjee, who's the personal or the principal secretary to the Prime Minister, has given you a time at 12 on Friday. I said, hello, I didn't ask for time. Seriously. I'm working in NDTV. I'm a managing editor of NDTV. I'm having a blast for last 15 years. I know everyone who's worth knowing in this city. Amitabh Bachchan used to come and exchange notes with me when he was doing KBC कि आप वो कैमरा में कैसे देखते हैं. I'm not joking. This is used to be the banter in the green room. कि आप वो कैमरा में कैसे देखते हैं. Then I told him that the camera has this lens here, and the machine which records is here, which I learned in BBC, World Service Television. So you have to actually look about a foot under that lens. Then you are looking in the eye of the people who are watching you. So when you see him next time, bhai or beno, I told him that. So I was doing this well and this thing. So I asked my producer in NDTV that this is a prank call. And this is the number. And why don't you call back, I think. That was my first, it's a prank call. Second thing, I thought that there used to be a minister, those days, Shri Pankaj, and there was R.K. Pachauri, who had just got the Nobel. So I thought, this is the wrong Pachauri they've called. So I asked my producer to just make sure where this call came from. And she called up and she said, no, it's a PBX number and it's Prime Minister's PBX number. And so I went there. And naturally, when you go to Prime Minister's office, you just don't go for a cup of tea and samosa, which are very good actually. So I prepared half a page that what the Prime Minister's office were not doing right in terms of communication. So he looked at it and he said, why don't you do it for us? So then you don't say no to that kind of an offer. So I told him that I've got a job and it's fine. So he said, no, we need someone. We have someone to take care of the print area. Harish Khare used to be there. And we need someone to take care of television and digital. Digital was getting important at that time. So I said, okay. So then again, a dilemma is there that you are a journalist, you've been a broadcaster, a journalist all your life, and now this is a different kettle of fish. But again, big pond, small fish. So you left BBC, which was a bigger pond, for a small pond called NDTV, and you became a big fish. So again, I thought it's a good idea, and let's do this. This branding will be perfect. So I joined and didn't sleep for the next 28 months. Friends and their seniors here, Shishir and Vikrant and their seniors will not let you sleep when you are on that kind of a job. But then I thought that, am I leaving journalism and becoming a bureaucrat? I thought about it. So thought, then I said no. I'm a journalist right now, working for one organization and reporting on 80 subjects. There, I'm a journalist reporting on one organization, which is the Prime Minister's office, and reporting to 80 cameras. So you become a reporter. So I took my job as a reporter in Prime Minister's office. So I loved it. This was my core value. This is what I knew. Even today, 12 years on, they are still using the graphs I had made at that time. That those 10-year graphs which come a lot, 2004 to 2014, they were all made by our team. So that's the kind of work. That's a journalist's work. And you are reporting it. So that happened. So just keep to your core values. My core value is journalist, reporter, and you keep doing that. And it's very handy for me right now because I'm training journalists from different countries at government organizations and academies. And naturally, I teach a lot at journalism institutions and all that. So these are the part of the journalism part. Quickly, 3 parts for entrepreneurship. So when I left Prime Minister's office, I thought 1 year I won't do anything, and cooling off period kind of a thing, which no one does these days. I thought, I just left 1 year and didn't do anything because of that, because ethics. So then I launched my own platform, Cloudburst MediaWorks, and which went on for, which I'll just discuss with you. So when we launched Go News, threads, reels, shorts, and this Twitter videos, nothing was there. And our product was actually that. It was called News in 90 seconds. We were much ahead of the curve, because I had gone to Silicon Valley and talked to people who were working there that what would sell in the future. And they said, very simple, short video, local language, which is now taken over everything. So did that, and within weeks, we got calls from Times of India that we want to meet you. I said, come to my office. He said, this person who came to talk to me, their M&A head, he said, I'll be very blunt with you. I'm a fan of yours. I've seen you on TV, that there was a meeting in the board, and they said, either we buy this company or we buy into this company. And I got scared of a big company. So don't be scared of a big company. I think I should have done the deal. Okay, in retrospect. But we thought, oh, we become Times of India, then number one, they're such a huge conglomerate. And number two, they won't let us do what we want to do, which is like fact-based journalism, 90 seconds kind of a thing. And Times of India, like everyone said, oh my God, they are doing this and they are doing that kind of a thing. And I knew Times of India. I had done a research on Times of India as Prime Minister's media advisor, and I knew everything which was wrong with Times of India, from its P&L to its private equities and all that stuff. So I said, I don't want to deal with this. But I should have, because my hat had changed. My hat from a communicator for the Prime Minister has now become an entrepreneur online. So don't be afraid of the big guys. Google did the same. Google, they approached us. And they said, what you're doing, we like it. We like this whole thing. Everyone liked two things, our logo, and the red and white logo, and our catch line, news in 90 seconds. We said no to Google also because we thought that we'll beat Google one day. Fourth thing, which I can share with you in confidence, you can report about it, but just say it was off the record. Empower your employees. That's one thing in a startup, in a new company. If you start with that, that's going to give you the biggest advantage in the future. In 15 years of my working with the NDTV, neither Pranoy nor Radhika ever asked me what to do and what not to do. And I'm really, really grateful to them for that. That's like absolute carte blanche. You can invite people. Sometimes people used to come and tell me, Arey, you invited so-and-so, and he's saying this thing about our company. I say, I invited the person because, I thought it was useful for the program. Someone had gone to court, I think, Subramaniam Swamy. He had gone to court or something. He used to make a lot of sounds against NDTV, and I invited him. Someone raised that flag. I said, he was adding something to the program I was doing, which was on Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and he was very close. So empower your employees to an extent that when we were shutting down after COVID, I rang up about 5, 6 of my friends, and I said, we got a reporter, we got 2 reporters, we got a camera person, we got a producer, this, that, social media expert. Everyone got a job. Just because they said, oh, you worked there, you're fine, through. Ticks all boxes. Because they were empowered, they were good, they've been handpicked. So empower your employees, very important. Fifth, always keep 3 years of salary in your bank. Always. And this I had in the back of my mind because I had learned an interview of Bill Gates. When he started Microsoft, the first thing he ensured was that there was 3 years' salary he had for all his employees. And if one had that 3 years employees, we would have sailed through the pandemic problem. And the pandemic problem also we invited upon to. There's another thing which is linked to this, is that always be flexible. When we launched Cloudburst, we said we are not going to take money from the government and from the corporates. No advertising. We'll just work with people in the CSR. We did a research, 1,240 crore was the CSR budget of the country. And we thought 0.1% of that and we are through. And we did that. For 2-3 years we did that. So we are working only with CSR and with the foreign institutions, UNICEF, UNESCO, WHO, WaterAid. And we are making money and we are fine. But that 3 months salary, 3 years salary, I didn't keep in mind. And that did that. So we said, okay, we will not shut it down. The company is still going on. And there are people who take care of the social media and that kind of a thing. So it's a very difficult thing to be a journalist and an entrepreneur. Because somewhere they are going to clash. Somewhere someone will come and ask you कि आप योगी जी से बात कर लीजिए, which you don't want to do because you are interviewing that person. So this whole clash of your subjects in journalism and your P&L, they are going to clash somewhere, and the only way it can work is that there is this great wall of China between the two. And that's why you should have a lot of firepower when you get into a journalistic startup. Because I don't want my reporter to say that, sir, so-and-so, he's our sponsor, and there's a scandal in his company. I don't want to. I've seen it all my life. I'm still seeing it today, every day. That once you get into those kind of deals, it's very difficult to be a conscientious journalist. So that's a very difficult thing. And even company like BBC is facing it right now. That if you go on that road of becoming, as they say, market friendly, then you have to be then friendly with your sponsors and your advertisers. That's a very difficult thing in journalism to crack. And that's where I'll end this very long monologue. And if you have any questions, there's no time, but you can ask me later. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and everywhere. And thank you, Udit, again. Great fun. All the best.